Each of the libraries participating in P3 chose one of three practices to implement in their diverse settings: learning lounges, mobile learning, or learning circles. You can read about each of these on our website. Implementation of the practices look different depending on the contextual factors of each library, which might be library size, the presence of an adult education program, staff capacity, or training. So today we'll hear from four libraries: Chicago Public Library, Fuller Public Library, St. Louis County Library, and Los Angeles Public Library, to talk about how their varied contexts shape their opportunities, challenges, and strategies for implementation. Let's start by having each of you tell us the practice you chose and why. Here's Kate Lapinski from Chicago Public Library.
CPL is a large system without a system-wide standardized adult education program. We're introducing a mobile learning app for our adult learner patrons. We're using an app for adult basic education, English language, and workforce skills called CellEd. CellEd is a low-barrier tool that offers users quality lessons, access to live coaches by phone or text, and does not even require a smartphone. That means it's a simple tool for our staff to introduce to their patrons. And then on the patron user end, it's a simple process to begin learning immediately on their own schedule.
We are a small library with an adult education program that serves a population of about 6,000. We chose to implement a learning lounge because we wanted to be able to offer a range of adult education and workforce services to our adult learners and to the general public. Because our adult education program is open enrollment and we provide small group, mixed level instruction, the Learning Lounge was a perfect fit for us.
Well, Trish, as a mid-sized system, some of the St. Louis County Library branches have adult education programs and others don't. Where we can, we offer classes to prepare adults for their high school equivalency. Getting adults to persist long enough to reach this goal has always been a challenge. In our system, we chose to implement learning circles because the peer learning and support they offer helps learners to stick with it. We also chose it because we could implement the model with just one staff member. How about you, LA?
Thanks, Ricqui. The Los Angeles Public Library is a large system with a well-established adult literacy program. We chose learning circles because it filled a gap in the services we already offer in adult literacy and expands our reach by including other patrons and library staff.
So within those contexts, what kinds of things did you discover or need to figure out along the way?
We found that finding volunteers that are comfortable working with multiple adult learners on multiple tasks at the same time was challenging. To help new volunteers feel more comfortable, we partnered them with more experienced staff. We also found that we needed to be flexible in order to respond to the changing needs of the community.
We discovered that the main thing we needed to center in our efforts was the real life and responsibilities of our learners. We know that many adults can't engage in formal learning or need to stop in and stop out when they do because of things like work schedules and caretaking responsibilities. So we wanted to provide these adult learners a way to stay on their learning path, whether or not they were able to enroll in something formal, like scheduled classes, or even Zoom in to take part in a scheduled library program. A mobile app allows us to provide a learning resource without the formality of structure and schedule.
Since the pandemic pushed us all to deliver services virtually, we discovered the challenge of helping patrons from a distance. Patrons might not have access to the internet, or they might not know how to access the internet. So we had to figure out how to explain everything about using digital tools through those very tools that people were not comfortable with, kind of like building the plane as you fly it. For that reason, it is a good idea to have digital literacy tools on hand that you can refer participants to. We also learned that recruiting virtually can be difficult. We initially recruited from within our online high school program, and then we found our external partners were a great resource to help us reach potential participants.
I'd like to add that in-person environments also draw people with digital literacy needs, and it's important to plan for that. Luckily, learning circles provide a flexible facilitation model any library can adapt for your needs. In Los Angeles, in addition to the digital literacy gaps, we knew we also had to address language barriers. Even though we selected excellent courses to use for our first round of learning circles, none of them were designed specifically for English learners. We were still able to accommodate this need by watching videos together, providing a printed transcript, teaching vocabulary, and using other facilitation strategies to help participants understand the content. In many cases, our best ideas came from the participants themselves. Also, although Los Angeles is a large system with an adult literacy program, our branches operate independently from our department. We don't have the authority to assign learning circle responsibilities, nor can we dictate specific learning topics. Our strategy was to focus on sharing this model and providing training. We encouraged staff to offer learning circles on topics that they were interested in. Luckily, many staff members saw this as a great low-cost option that was a good addition to their existing adult programming.
These are all good programming additions. What are you doing to help sustain these practices in your libraries?
We are actively recruiting and training new volunteers to work in the Learning Lounge, and we're pursuing additional funding sources to extend this practice within our library and to other small libraries in the state.
We're not currently looking for funding, but we are looking for partners at community organizations to help us spread the word about this new tool and funnel learners our way. To me, the most important thing for the sustainability of the practice is that our neighborhood staff believe in the tool we've chosen and truly know that CEL-Ed can help their patrons stay engaged to reach their learning goals. That makes all the difference in how people interact with the resource and in its long-term viability. Ricqui, what are you doing in St. Louis County?
For St. Louis County Library, to ensure that learning circles will continue to be offered, we will be exploring offering learning circles that are non-academic subjects so that more patrons are exposed to learning through this model. For example, mental health and physical health programs. We offer these already and might be able to offer them as learning circles to advance their skills in these topics.
Sustainability for learning circles at the LA Public Library is about ongoing training, making sure that new librarians are trained to facilitate learning circles. Another thing we've done is to have monthly learning circle online meetings with topics that are specific to LAPL. We've also made sure that we have a place where learning circles live on our website so patrons can find them and staff can access facilitation resources. We have an email address where people can send and get answers to questions.
Thank you all, and good luck with your continued innovative work.